bunch of slides here. I have asked, that Kevin share this with you so you can take some time to really study what it is that we're talking about here. But I think it's kind of interesting. I heard Mark Matthews talk about numbers, and everyone's talking about numbers. And I agree with Bob. This industry is in the best condition to move forward. I wrote an article that Patricia was kind enough to print and publish called The Renaissance. And I really believe that we are coming into this next generation of business, this renaissance for our business. And you have to seek knowledge. When the guys were talking about AI, I'm telling you, you guys can't be sitting back and laying back. This stuff is happening. You've got to pursue the knowledge, and you have to make sure you're making the right investments. The second part of this, the opening comments, because I know we have to move quickly. These numbers are just numbers, and they are dramatic numbers. So, Kevin, if you don't mind, can you just put up the Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. So, basically we studied the 11 companies and then the US OEMs. A great deal of content was put into this. When you look at the comparison for Japanese OEMs, 2020, 9 months, April to December, and then 3 months, October through December. So this is horrendous, right? When you look at these numbers, there is no way, that you're gonna look at that and say, yeah, our industry is really on an upswing. But the fact of the matter is, they're going through the same challenges that everyone else goes through. And they're gonna do things that are really appropriate to make their companies healthy, successful, and well. Nobody predicted the pandemic. For somebody to blame a manager, I'll pick on Mark Matthews, for good or bad, they can't. Pandemic was unknown to everybody. Now his numbers turned out to be tremendous, and they took advantage of it. So these numbers, again, revenue down, 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 and then the forecast from April through June was up, up, up. So how did they do? So if you can flip through the next couple slides, and then I'll move on. So when you look at the Japanese OEM year over year, revenue was down. You're talking $11 billion, right? Operating profit down $2.3 billion, and then 19% net income down. And then of course you're looking at the forecasts, and the forecasts are all up. And I can tell you the good news is they're meeting the forecast. It's been painful, but they're meeting their forecast. So just a couple more quick slides. This is the comparison for OEMs. So to Mark Matthews' credit, when you look at, just take a look at, well, it's not Border, but it'd be Brother and Epson. So you take a look at what they're doing and their steady growth. And now you can talk about the A3, A4, you can talk about how you respond to all those things. But take a look at Canon, right? And you can see that's 2019, 2020, and then the updated forecast. So look at what's happening here. Pretty steady, frightening kind of numbers year over year. But your numbers are down on average 25%, so the corresponding numbers, that's all that is. It's a yin and a yang. So the last one that I really wanted to show you, and again, you can study these things. One last slide. This is really the most telling slide for all. Now, I would echo again what Bob said, and I love what I heard from Mark Matthews about they're doing well, and things are going well, and they're responding to how to do business in this new environment. But when I hear people say, I've heard people, everybody's lost money. Well, there's a difference between saying people have down net income, or down profit, or down margins, and losing money, right? So when you think about it, and you can take a look at this very quickly, Canon, did they lose money? They're down. Ricoh, did they lose money? They lost money. And then you can take a look all the way across, right? Brother, Epson, Sharp, and then Konica Minolta, and then Kyocera, and then Oki. So these are real numbers that come out of Japan. They're verified by stock market, and numbers of different sources, right, for you to make sure that we're giving you accurate information. But the bottom line is, they're going to fix this. They are going to fix it. They are going to continue to improve, and that will in fact happen. Now, the greater picture, which I always enjoy the speculation, who's going to buy who? Who's going to consolidate? There's too many OEMs. My final point, and again I echo Bob, don't worry about it. Your clients are buying you. The brand is nice, and you want to partner with a credible partner. You want to make sure that they're financially astute and capable of doing what needs to be done in the next generation. But first focus on my recommendation, personally, which is, who's your technology partner? How are you seeking? You know, when I acknowledge, you know, I heard the guys from TAG talk about AI or Azure, right? How many people still today are arguing about on-premise versus cloud? How many of you are actually in the cloud? All right, so most of you are, and that's congratulations to you and a testimony to this group. But there are still dealers who are arguing and debating whether or not they should be on-premise or in the cloud. So AI to them is going to be, it's going to be not very realistic because they haven't gotten to second base yet. So to get around it, to get to AI and some of these other things, they're going to have trouble. So make sure you're seeking knowledge. These OEMs, again, my final comment, these OEMs are struggling to do what? Recover, grow their business, making new investments, trying to, you know, IT services, no IT services. If you look at Jeff Gow and Marco, I don't think it's a big argument that Marco is well known for having established probably the most premier IT services business in the country. So now you have to ask yourself, how do I stack up against that? What is he doing that I need to do? That's what they're doing. So don't depend on the OEM to teach you what the next generation of product is. Go out there and find it, listen, learn. You got a magazine in front of you, read it, talk to Patricia, do the things that you need to do. And I'm really encouraging you to do that, because right now, we're time compressed, things are moving quickly, and you're gonna enjoy a really, really, really wonderful few years if in fact you follow the proper steps. So these numbers, they're just numbers. Behind them, you know, they just put a new RICO president in, Rick is gone, new president at Konica Minolta. It's all part and parcel of the game. So just manage yourself. Your opportunities are endless and infinite right now. So I know we got a panel. We can go do our thing. So if you have any questions about this or any of the other 25 slides, just let me know. Okay.